Hi everyone, I'm Brett McCrae on Northern Ag TV. You might remember some of my reports from June this year when I went to Columbia with the Montana Department of Agriculture and the Montana Pulse Crop Committee to help promote Montana pulses like lentils and chickpeas to Latin American grain buyers. That trip was funded in part by farmers themselves through the Montana Pulse Crop Checkoff, and that trade mission resulted in actual sales of Montana pulses to South American companies.
I am happy to report this. We got the survey results back. Our trip to Columbia and the participation of our companies in the Alimentec Food Show, over $350,000 of sales at the show, and projected in the next 12 months, $7 million. So the investment there has definitely created a good return.
Now, at the end of August, the script was flipped when the Montana Department of Agriculture and the Montana Pulse Crop Committee brought those Latin American grain buyers to Montana during harvest to learn more about the products that they buy from Montana farmers. Those buyers visited Montana companies, farms, and some of our research and quality assurance facilities like the Montana State Grain Lab and the MSU Post Farm.
It's very interesting about the studies you already done in the pulse industry, right? The quality check about the sending to the laboratories. I could realize that it's very important for you guys in the farmers to check the quality to export the products.
The trip concluded in Bozeman with the Montana Lentil Table, an annual event put on by Bozeman chef Claudia Crevitt, who grew up in Columbia and now uses the Montana Lentil Table, which uses Montana-grown lentils to share South American culture and food with the Bozeman community. People that come to the Montana Lentil Table are also curious to learn more about how their food is produced.
We want to know, how are our animals treated? Are they organic? What kind of soil? Is it regenerative farming? We want to know all those buzzwords because we're really interested not only in our personal health, but we're also interested in the health of the planet.
I'm Brett McCrae on Northern Ag TV. We're back with more.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Hi everyone, Brett McCrae back with more on Northern Ag TV. This summer, the Bureau of Land Management's Public Lands Rule became law. The Conservation and Landscape Health Rule, as it is formally known from BLM, has been maligned by groups that represent multiple use and public lands grazing, in part because it elevates conservation as a use under BLM management, allowing for conservation leases that actually exclude other kinds of other activities on public lands. The Public Lands Council Executive Director Caitlin Glover says that PLC is fundamentally opposed to BLM on this issue.
The challenge here is that Congress didn't provide them with that authority like Congress did with other uses. It's the agency creating their own job description, which is something that federal agencies just don't get to do, in our view.
The Public Lands Council is part of a lawsuit against the federal government that says BLM created this rule illegally without congressional approval. Turning to your markets, cattle markets were sharply higher Monday on a big rebound from last week's losses. In St. Ange Friday, most of the weigh-up cows brought from $1.30 to $1.39, and slaughter bulls traded from $1.47 to $1.58. At the Newell sheep yards last week, 50 to 60 pound lambs $222 to $227, 60 to 69 pound lambs $204 to $214. And grains were mixed on Monday, with both KC and Minneapolis wheat futures seeing moderate losses. Canadian wheat stocks are predicted to be higher than expected, which is more competition for U.S. product on the world market, but our exports continue to impress. They are 31% higher compared to wheat exports last year at this time. I'm Brett McRae on Northern Ag TV.